Hi and welcome to Drag Me with me, Leeja Miller, your lost bisexual friend who doesn't know what she's talking about. Today we're talking about episode 2 of All Stars season 7. In case you missed it, on Friday, May 20th, they dropped 2 episodes, the first 2 episodes of the All Stars 7 season at 3 a.m. I'm excited to review this episode. If you missed it, I already reviewed episode 1. That's a separate video. I'll link it up here. Let's talk about episode 2, in which we were blessed with an early season double header snatch game. How fun. They really reeled us in right away on this season. Everyone loves Snatch Game. I love Snatch Game. I love a good impression if it's done well. And I think after season 14 Snatch Game, which crashed and burned, I think we were all looking forward to some seasoned queens doing this and hopefully doing it very well. And I think they delivered. All right, let's go just down the line for the first round. First, we had Monet as Mike Tyson. I think she did a great job. It was funny. She came out swinging with the lisp and like really nailed it. I had a good chuckle at least once, and that's how I usually tell if I actually laugh out loud at something. And she was funny. I think she did a great job. She got me with the impregnable line. Raja is Madame from Wayland Flowers and Madame, which I had never heard of. I did some Googling. Turns out Wayland Flowers had a show called Wayland Flowers and Madame, which was him and this puppet. It was a comedy show in like the 70s and 80s. And he actually ended up dying of HIV, I think in the late 80s when he was only like 48. And I feel like there's just like a lot of pieces of like 80s and 90s gay and queer culture that I just really haven't been exposed to. I have seen Paris is Burning, but I feel like that's just one piece in a much larger kind of cultural phenomenon that I just really haven't spent a lot of time with. And I feel like I could do better to consume more of that culture. There is a great book that I did read in college called 𝗖𝗢𝗡𝗘𝗘𝗡𝗏, and it's all about the Cuban exodus of gay Cubans from Havana to Miami. That was a fascinating look at kind of 20th century gay culture, but otherwise I'm really underexposed, frankly. All right, and then Viv was Joanna Lumley. Had to Google her, still have no idea who she is, okay? And then she kind of had that Chanel line a few times. I feel like if you got to use the same line more than maybe twice, like you're kind of reaching. It didn't do much for me. It certainly didn't blow me away the way that it looked like her Trump impersonation blew away the judges last time. All right, and then Trinity the Tuck is Gay Satan, which I thought was funny. I think it's a really fun thing for people to do these snatch games where you're doing a character that either is made up or you don't really know what their personality is because they're from a long time ago. I feel like there's a lot of kind of wiggle room for you to go all out with a character like that, and I think she did just that. I mean, the costume is really fun. She's got like the fully blacked out contact lenses in and the horns, but then she's got like a little glove on and this little tiara, so it's like Gay Satan, and I mean, that's funny. It's just funny just as a concept. Okay, and then Jinx is Natasha Lyonne, who I am fucking obsessed with. I love Natasha Lyonne. I think she's charming and unhinged, and like, I don't know why I am in love with her. I think she is fantastic. I watch everything she does, and I think Jinx really nailed her. And Jinx really nailed knowing that she was in a movie with RuPaul, because we've seen queens who haven't done enough research to realize that Ru has worked with whoever it is they're impersonating, and that is always embarrassing. But she was in a movie called But I'm a Cheerleader with RuPaul in the 90s. Excellent film. If you have not seen it, I highly recommend. It's campy and fun, but like really well done and kind of deep, and it's a great movie. And Ru plays this like counselor at this conversion house who's straight. It's fun. Also, did you know that Natasha Lyonne dated Fred Armisen for a long time? I had no idea. I just found out recently, and that makes me like her even more. Like, what a fun, kooky couple. All right, I'm going to shut up about Natasha Lyonne. I just think it was a brilliant pick, and I think she really nailed it. She did a good job with the accent, with the mannerisms. I think she nailed it. And okay, and then Evie was Rico Nasty. Also, no idea who that was. Googled, still no idea who that is. I feel like it's a risk to choose these kind of like obscure, young, new to the scene personalities, especially considering the judges are all, I think, over 40. So probably don't know who these people are. And then her performance of Rico Nasty was very like flat. Like there was just the one note of her screaming. And, you know, it wasn't like horrible to watch, but there was nothing in it for me. And the judges agreed. On that note, though, 𝗟𝗓 was 𝗟𝗓𝗡𝗡𝗡𝗡𝗏, who like that actually worked. I think partially because 𝗟𝗓𝗏's whole shtick is in part physical comedy with the glasses and the potato chips. So there's something really recognizable. There's something that's built in that's funny. So, you know, I think she did well with that. And then Jada was Prince, who I obviously have a soft spot for because I am here in Minneapolis. And I think she did a good job. I think it was funny. It was campy. I mean, Prince is already campy, so I think it was a good choice because you don't really have to do much. She's already goofy. The lip thing, you know, she did it a bunch, but it worked. It was funny, and I think it went well for her. Okay, and then we have Snatch Game Part 2. This lineup, Viv is Catherine Tate. Also had to Google who that is. I do recognize her, but I didn't know about the Catherine Tate show, which is its own thing. And even though it was kind of obscure, I think it was a safe choice, frankly, because in the Catherine Tate show, she's already playing a character. So like Viv didn't have to make a caricature out of a normal person. It was like, it was already done for her, so it didn't really matter that I didn't know who it was. It was still funny, but frankly, a bit of a safe choice. Also, side note, I've noticed throughout this episode that Viv has at least 2 Cher tattoos, one on her wrist and then like a full portrait of Cher on her arm. I mean, Cher's an icon, but wow. Okay, and then Yvie in this round was the Boogeyman, which I thought was a fun idea because it's, again, a made-up character. We don't know what that personality is, so she really could run with it and make it her own thing. And I think she did a good job of making the Boogeyman this, like, sexy, funky guy hiding under your bed. Trinity is Leslie Jordan. Brilliant. Iconic. I mean, he's already an icon as it is, but, like, she really played it up. She did really well with like the cheeks and playing up the shortness and the accent and the goofiness. I think she nailed it. Okay, and then JD as Lady Chablis. Also had to Google her. I'll add that to the pile of 20th century queer culture that I need to learn about. But I thought it was funny, but I have no point of reference for that. So really, I have nothing to add. And then 𝗟𝗓 as J. Alexander, who I'm embarrassed to say I only know from memes. So again, I had no point of reference for that one. Raja as Deanna Vreeland, also had to Google, did not know who she was. She seems very iconic. And I thought Raja's makeup was really spot on. Like she really captured the vibe, at least based on the pictures that I've seen of this person who I don't know. And then Monet plays Martin Lawrence as Shanae from the 90s show Martin, which is such a deep cut that it took multiple Google searches for me to figure out who that was. I think she did fine, but like I wasn't laughing. It also fell flat for me. And then we have Jinx as Judy Garland, which obviously she nailed it. She nailed the voice, she nailed the singing, she did a great job of commanding the room. She did a great job of commanding time that like none of the other queens got. She closed out the show. I mean, it was a spectacular performance. It was so funny and well done, and like she commanded that stage. So we all kind of knew who was going to win after that performance, you know? All right, and then we get to the runway. Category is the pleather principle. Okay, and Monet comes out in this leather brown dress, which just to me looks like a meat dress with a giant meaty bow on it and like a weird six-pack ab superhero part on the top and like a meat train. And I know the theme was pleather. I hope that it is actually pleather, not real leather, because like how many cows had to die to make that thing? The wig was fun, very like 1930s finger waves, but like I know people said that this was pretty. I know the judges said that this was gorgeous. It did not work for me. I think I'm just like kind of repulsed by the texture of leather. So for me, this runway was like generally a large no. For the most part. Yvie came out in this like anime feeling patent leather getup, which also does nothing for me. I think I'm just realizing that I really don't love all leather looks, but it was just a little too, I don't know. It didn't do anything for me. The blow up hair was fun, but like usually I'm looking for something that's either beautiful or like cleverly campy. And this is doing neither for me. I do like the back detailing, though. I feel like the back part of Yvie's look was my favorite part. And then Raja comes out in a red leather jacket with a blue snakeskin bodysuit, mini skirt combo thing, and then some kind of ripped ballet tights. and tall platform shoes. Like, I love the fascinator. Like I said, I love a good fascinator. I think it looks elegant. The wig is kooky and 80s, but again, it's too much color. I don't like the material. Ugh, this runway generally was a no for me, and this outfit specifically, I don't like the colors. I don't like what's happening here. It did nothing for me. Trinity looked like if the Michelin Man had a slutty blue sister. The thigh-high boots, I always love, and I love an off-shoulder moment with a statement sleeve, but the silhouette is just, it's not giving me life. All right, it didn't do anything for me. Okay, and then Viv comes out though in an all red dramatic shoulder with like a train conductor hat and thigh-high red platform pumps and red gloves and then this really dark wig. Like, this look, that's what I was looking for. I think it's probably because it's all one color. I don't like colorful things. It really works for me. And the dark hair really adds some drama. The silhouette was perfect. I'm a sucker for a good glove. And even though this is leather, the texture that she got on that top, the kind of draping, is frankly really impressive given that it is leather pleather. And it really works for me. I think it's really elegant and I loved it. And then we have Jinx in this like pink and blue bustled ensemble, again with that bright red hair that I hate, and it's too much color, but I do like the idea of kind of subverting the bustled like Cinderella fairy tale silhouette with the material of the leather. I think it's well done. Like, it's impressively done, just literally the way that the garment is made, but the colors and the texture of the fabric, look, it doesn't work for me. Okay, but then Jada, whew, she's giving us maroon trench coat with like this asymmetrical kooky snakeskin crop that's kind of almost like melting off of her, with the high-rise pleather pants and the tiny glasses, just the 90s grunge Matrix fantasy. I'm obsessed with this look. I love this look. Because she also added like that silk lining in the trench to really add like dimension to this that I feel the other girls didn't do, to add more than just layers and layers of leather. And the makeup is perfect. The 90s styling, I'm always a sucker for it. So this look, I think, was my favorite of the runway. It just worked for me. And then she comes out in this like white leather Catwoman suit with like words written all over it. And there's like cutout places, and she's wearing like the chaps vibe, which I liked, but that's about all I like about this. It looks like it's kind of messy or like in tatters. I don't know if it's like an art thing that I'm not getting, but like, it was too much for me. It really didn't work for me. There wasn't enough structure or cohesiveness to this look. Okay, so for me, the winner of the Snatch Game was obviously Jinx. I think she was the winner for everyone. And then the runway winner for me is Jada, and Viv also comes in a very close second for me. So for me, my top two were Jinx overall, and then the second is hard, but I think, honestly, kind of out of left field, Trinity is also my top two, and I decided that before the judges decided that, so like, I'm trying to be authentic here. But I get why they put Trinity in the top two, because even though I didn't love the Michelin Man look, and she didn't like absolutely slay every moment or really, really stand out in Snatch Game, I think she was really strong in both, in a way that I think the other queens were either really strong on the runway but kind of weak in Snatch Game, or vice versa. So for me, Jinx and Trinity make sense. And then the lip sync, they lip synced to an Adele song. It was fun, but frankly, it was like a little flat for me. Like, I didn't feel thrilled. I didn't feel particularly entertained. And then Jinx won, which, like, of course, after that Snatch Game, if she didn't win, I think there would be an absolute uproar. So, you know, but I was surprised at Trinity during the lip sync, because she seems like this kind of beautiful glamour queen, but she can also like be funny and do some good faces. So, you know, it was entertaining, but I wasn't awestruck. And then of course Jinx wins, and she picks Shea to block the next week so that Shea cannot get another legend pin, which makes perfect sense. I think Shea has already proven herself as this like really top contender on this show. She's beautiful, she's talented, like she already has a legend star. I think Shea makes exactly, so I would have picked Shea as well. And that's the Snatch Game episode for All Star Season 7. We got it early and it was a good one. Thank God, after season 14. Maybe they moved it up when season 14 was so bad, because they were like, we gotta redeem some queens here. And then next week's preview, the little preview at the end, it hinted at like some alliances that the queens are going to be forming amongst themselves as like a strategy. I don't understand when these queens try to like strategize amongst themselves. Like, Usually no one follows it because the show plays itself out, and if you form an alliance with one queen but then she ends up becoming your competition, like, what are you gonna do? I just think it's a bad strategy overall. It's a no for me on the alliance formation, but you know, tensions will probably get higher as the competition continues and as more of those legend pins are handed out or lost or not received, I guess. I don't know that they can lose them, but maybe that'd be a fun twist if they somehow lose pins for some reason. That was fun. I'm excited to see all the queens kind of continue throughout this season for the whole season. I think it's going to make really great television. As evidenced by these first 2 episodes, these queens are clearly class acts and multi-talented, impressive performers. So I cannot wait to watch the rest of this season unfold. Who did you love in this episode? Comment down below. Or if you're listening over on the podcast, please consider leaving a review for the podcast so that it can reach more people. Hit that like and subscribe button if you're watching on YouTube. Thank you so much for being here. Have a great day. Bye-bye.